Question number 14. We are looking to find the product of R and S. This is supposed to be an S right here. That's a typo. We begin by solving for R. We're going to add 7 to both sides. And when you do that, you are left with 3R equals 21. When you divide both sides by 3, your R equals 7. The right-hand equation, you are going to subtract 12 from both sides, and you are left with 4S equals 16. And when you divide both sides by 4, 16 divided by 4, your S equals 4. Now we just solved 2 equations and we're not done yet. You were asked to find the product of R and S. Product means multiply. So we have to do 7 times 4, which equals 28. And that is actually the answer to this question. Solve them both and then multiply them. Question 15 says 2 cell phone companies charge the rates as shown in the chart. After how many minutes will the companies charge the same amount? Well, Verizon charges $9.99 a month plus 3 cents per minute. So $9.99 plus 0.03 M. Alltel just charges $56 a month. And the question is, after how many minutes do they charge the same amount? So we're trying to solve for M. Subtracting $9.99 from both sides, you are left with 0.03 M equals 4601. And from there, you're going to divide both sides by 0.03. And when you divide both sides by 0.3, you end up with 1533.6 repeating. And since you're charged for either minute or you're not, I would write my answer as right about 1,534 minutes. Right about there, your charges would be the same. Question 16. A company charges $25 for the internet and then 10 cents a minute for phone calls. Another company charges $30 for the internet but 5 cents a minute for phone calls. How many minutes need to be made for the total fees to be the same? So we want to know when these 2 companies charge the same amount. So the first company is $25 plus 10 cents a minute for phone calls. The second company is $30 plus 5 cents a minute for phone calls. You want to start with the smaller of the 2 variables. So we are going to subtract 0.05 M from the both sides. And you will have 25 plus 0.05 M equals 30. And now we are going to subtract 25 from both sides. And we have 0.05 M equals 5. And when you divide that, you are left with M equals, I believe it's 100 minutes. So at 100 minutes, these 2 companies charge the same. For less than 100 minutes, you would go with the first company. For more than 100 minutes, you would go with the second company. And before we fill in these two definitions down here, we're going to do these last four examples. Example 17, solving an equation. X subtract 6x is a negative 5x plus 4. So the left-hand side simplifies to negative 5x plus 4. On the right-hand side, we have a negative 5x. 6 minus 2 is a plus 4. And if you add 5x to both sides, you end up with 4 equals 4. And this is probably something new to you. What this means, this is called the identity. That statement is always true. 4 always equals 4. So this means that all of our numbers, all real numbers, are solutions. So your answer then is going to be all reals. If you look right here, negative 5x plus 4 equals negative 5x plus 4. Those two things are equal. So any number you put in there is going to make those two things equal. Number 18, we have a 12x plus an x is a 13x. And then we have a minus 3. On the right-hand side, 5x plus 8x is 13x and a minus 4. And when we subtract 13x from both sides, you have negative 3 equals negative 4. Does negative 3 ever equal negative 4? It does not. So this is impossible, and with this one, there are no solutions. And that's called the contradiction. This is a contradiction. Negative 3 equals negative 4. It's not true, so there are no solutions. Number 19, when we distribute, you will have a 3x minus 24 plus 2x equals 5x minus 24. 3x plus 2x is 5x. And when you subtract 5x from both sides, you are left with negative 24 equals negative 24. That is always true, so any number you put in there works. So our solution here is all real numbers. And number 20, we have to distribute this subtract. 4 subtract x, and when you give that subtract to the 6, it would also be a subtract 6. That is going to equal negative x plus 2. Simplifying the left-hand side, you will have a negative x minus 2 equals negative x plus 2. When you add x to both sides, you are left with negative 2 equals 2. It's our contradiction. It's never true, so there are no solutions. And let's go back up, fill in identity and a contradiction. For contradiction, I'm going to write solve an equation, and you get something like 3 equals 5. And this is just an example. Not going to be 3 equals 5 all the time. You get a statement that isn't true, and that means there are no solutions. And the identity is when you solve an equation and you get a statement that is always true like 5 equals 5, and then all reals are your solution. So the identity, when you solve an equation, you get a true statement, two things that are equal to each other, and that's all reals. Contradiction is when you solve an equation and you get a statement that is not true, and then there are no solutions.